seconds.
I can't do everything.
You have to get it hard.
Basic.
You have to get it hard a little bit. It doesn't stand up on its own.
Self-sufficient a little bit, Joanna.
It doesn't stand up on its own. You have to like spit on it or
You have
something.
to crank it really tough.
Oh boy.
Oh, okay. What in
Does it have to be close to my mouth?
You have to put it. Yeah.
In your mouth?
Yeah,
helps.
you have to spit on it.
It helps.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do I have?
Before we got married, that thing would have been standing up on its own and right in her mouth. But
In your motherfucking
Get your-
mouth.
yeah, it would have been all over. Now, not so much.
Is my mic on?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're there. Test. Oh my God. Please don't watch this episode.
Check 1, 2.
You didn't say anything, Joanna.
You want me to talk?
You have to talk normal.
Hello? Hello?
How come when I talk,
Do
all
you
of
want
them
me to talk?
like
Because you're loud. You're very loud. Yeah.
Tyler did it. There was like 2 little like.
Yes.
Mine's like.
I don't know how this episode is gonna go.
Yeah, this is gonna be rough.
I'm sorry. That's fucking rude.
Well, what it's gonna be is gonna be me and Mike fighting for mic time, and I'm gonna try to keep it anti-man for the only first 10 minutes.
Set a timer, because about 35 minutes in of bashing us, we're gonna have to say something.
Okay.
So, the 2 things that we were gonna talk about was the Memphis. One of them was the Memphis thing.
And the acquittal or the hung jury on the dude up in Grand Rapids. We covered both of those. That just came out.
Oh yeah, and we're gonna talk about the Sal incident. But Sal is on our show, but he's gonna be on your show when this airs.
Yes.
So that's a good way to just tell the ladies that everything's rolling and they stop talking.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what the fuck you guys are
Letting
talking
you guys
about.
work out what we're doing.
Yeah, I'm glad
It's
this
really
is when we
informal.
talk
You
about
just
what we're
start
talking
talking.
about.
So let's talk first. We had the Memphis, the black dudes beat the brakes off that guy, killed him, and yesterday 3 guys that didn't cooperate with the prosecution were acquitted of any murder charges in the state system.
But not the federal.
The federal, yeah, they're guilty in the federal system for civil rights violations, but they were charged with murder. And as we sit here today, no cities are
How
burning.
is it a civil rights thing if it was black on black? I'm dead serious question.
I don't
If it
think
was
it
5 white cops, I get it.
I don't think
It's-
it matters.
so-
Civil rights don't have colors.
Right.
No.
What's the civil right?
You're so indoctrined that it has to be white against black that it can be any direction with civil rights. You're just taking away somebody's civil rights.
Okay, what's a
Here's the
civil
expert.
right?
Go ahead. Explain.
Violating any of your protected amendments, right? So
So it's because it's
The most common is a white cop, black victim is your most common.
or at least the ones that are in the media the most.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's not necessarily that it happens the most, but it's the ones that are talked about the most. So it seems like that's the typical avenue.
That's
So
what
it doesn't
they want.
matter,
You,
but
so you fell for it.
The glaring problem we have here with the double standard is those guys beat the fucking shit out of that guy. They
But he
killed him.
fought back.
He did.
How many minutes was he limp? I don't know. Give or take. Was it George
I
Floyd
know it was-
long?
Yes.
It was George Floyd
And
long.
it was like 20 minutes from like unresponsive to EMS treatment.
But was that on them?
Yeah, they didn't do anything. They just let him sit there.
High fiving each other.
Yeah, but if you watch that video, you're right. He was resisting. If you watch that video, and I remember seeing it for the first time, there was a point like the cartoons where each guy had an arm and one guy was just wearing him out.
Really?
It became like flat out abuse. I mean, you saw it.
Yeah, and when you think about factors, subject factors versus an officer factor, if you have 1v1, right, escalating force, it becomes a little bit more justifiable. If you have 3 subjects and 1 cop, again,
It's like
escalating
legal force,
force
yeah.
becomes more justified. But when you have 5 cops and 1 dude, and the 5 of you can't figure out a methodical way without killing someone to restrain and apprehend them, that is an absolute abomination of use of force.
But do you think it's going to be a national outcry because those cops were black?
It's already not.
Cities aren't burning?
No. Memphis is a disaster. Memphis is
I
one
don't know
of
if
the most.
I don't know if you'd noticed if there
crazy.
was riots. I think it's just
There's none.
Is it
blended
that
with
bad
the-
there? I've never been to Memphis.
Memphis is
Just
like
is the same.
terrible.
It's an everyday
Memphis is
Right.
like they had the
There's
shooting
nothing
at the
to
park there
burn.
there was a shooting in the park not too long ago where it is out of control in Memphis.
Louisville's the
There's
same.
nobody's mad. Nobody's mad.
Good.
Nobody's mad.
Well, is it?
I mean, I don't think people should riot over anything.
No, but
Why-
when
why
they start
did-
picking and choosing what they riot
Oh, yeah,
over,
that's
right?
fair.
When someone gets acquitted, someone's dead, and these people.
Where's LeBron James?
Yeah.
Say his name. Who's the victim? You know his victim's name?
No.
I don't either. I didn't even pay it. You know what?
Tyree Nichols.
Okay, so there you go. One of us knows the
Dude,
victim.
that's a wife right there.
Do you know Breonna Taylor?
Okay, now you're just.
Now you're just showing
But
off.
you know Breonna
You
Taylor
just know
because
everything.
every celebrity and every sports person threw Breonna Taylor down your face. Tyree Nichols. There you go. That's the first time now I remember it, but I didn't because you don't hear about it. It was worse than Rodney King. He died.
Yeah, that's the thing too. The 1992 riots in LA over Rodney King's those cops acquittal, and there's, I don't know. Do you think the video was as bad as the Rodney King video?
It was worse.
It was worse.
Yeah,
Memphis?
I haven't watched it. It's been probably since it came out. I haven't really revisited and watched it. But when you watch it, it's pretty bad. It's pretty brutal. It's uncomfortable to watch.
Yeah. You can edit it in too. I mean,
I'll
I'm telling you, there's a point where that dude is like,
He's like, oh, I will.
slumped over, just being held up like a scarecrow, and they're just beating the brakes off him.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I don't think I saw that part.
And I think that goes back to like the absolute failure
Heather's dropped her
across.
phone like 8 times.
Just trying to get a new
I'm
one.
just listening.
Yeah.
How you get a new one? Yeah.
Because I'm
Dropping
not trying to
like-
act
Drop-
like I'm
you
a
dropping it like
seasoned
Mike?
Cop or seasoned cop wife.
Neither are they.
I broke it
They're
again.
not-
Right.
I just this was replaced yesterday. Broke it again.
So there won't be any 1992 style riots for this because Memphis is just a piece of shit and doesn't care about anything.
Doesn't care. But the rest of the nation cared on all those other cases.
Right.
So do you think? Oh, you don't think there'll be any rioting?
There's not.
It would
it's
already
a
be
black on
happening.
black
It would
thing.
already be
It's
happening.
gone.
Yeah.
It's gone.
It's
The rioting would be right now.
It would have happened yesterday when they were acquitted.
Okay.
Imagine 5 white dudes beat a black dude on camera to death, and they said not guilty. I don't care where you are, what city. It would be over right now.
Yeah.
It would be over.
We'd be able to see the fires from here.
Correct.
100%.
And that, it's just one after another. We had the stabbing a month ago in Texas. Nothing happened. Now you got the black dude the kid, that one's being wildly skewed too. The black dude that ran over the innocent Cincinnati cop. His son gets killed by the police.
That shit's wild.
Hinton, his last name I think is he gets killed the day before, points a gun at a cop in a stolen car, gets smoked. So the cop I guess the guy that he hit was like retired but still working, like volunteering or something,
Probably
directing
like
traffic,
and
gets mowed
auxiliary.
down. So it's you don't hear anything about that one because there's like a bad narrative to that one. So
Yeah.
that just gets swept away. Constant fucking disaster.
like we were talking about. It's clear. It's unfortunate that the average person can't see the clear manipulation and mind control that goes on in directing and orchestrating the narrative and controlling what you're outraged over. Like, it's almost like if you were to feel organically outraged over a situation, but then you look around and no one else is outraged, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
I guess we're not getting outraged over
Like-
this. And then so you stop becoming outraged over those things.
That's that control the government has.
The media tells you
It's
what you're
conditioning
gonna,
and
yeah.
programming.
The media tells you what you're going to be outraged about.
It's like Pavlov with the bell and the dog.
Yeah. Or have you ever seen the experiment where this is literally like a funny social experiment. They're in a room full of people, and every time the bell rings or something, someone stands up.
Oh, yeah,
And they all start
I've
standing up together, and
Yep.
you're like, oh, that's the scariest thing in the world.
And they keep bringing a new person in.
Yeah.
And then that person sits there like the first time they all stand up and they kind of look over, and the second time they do it, they're like, and they stand up with them. And there was one person in that whole group that didn't stand
That
up.
was
And
like-
everybody's like, be like her. Be like that girl.
Yeah.
Because she was like, nobody told me to stand up. So that's great that you guys are doing that, but I'm not going to stand up.
That's a horrifying video to me. It's horrifying.
But
Yeah.
that's today's world.
But you take that and then you put it in the media,
Right.
and that's what they do.
and the guy who doesn't stand up will be ostracized and blatantly just murdered in the media for whatever reason that is, and then off you go.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's a generational thing too, because we've talked about how roll call rooms, even 10 years ago, roll call rooms were like 20 individually thinking cops that, worked on a shift together. Now it's like, if you're the cop raising his hand, like, why are we doing that? Now, there's things that I've done
You got a story about that?
that were borderline unconstitutional that our county was doing to fix a problem, and I felt weird about doing it. There's a couple things, but then there's just dumb shit. Like, we're all like the Axon. The Axon is taking. It's the privatized the industrial military complex. Now it's the industrial law enforcement complex. Everyone's getting in on it. Every private, they're exploiting law enforcement, which is not hard to do. Law enforcement's been around since the Shire Reeves, like hundreds of years. It's a simple concept, social contract theory. That's what you enforce. And
now it's a business model.
Dude, it is. If you get caught with your pants down and you don't have Axon, Axon's going to help hang you out to dry. Well,
and now they're doing the translation. Like the body cams have.
Oh, and they're awful. I have to go approve, and it's
no, not only that, they're doing language translation now. So now your body cam will talk to somebody speaking Creole, and it'll work. They're making everything possible to get you to buy that device. Have it.
That's not actually bad.
It's not, but it's part of get everybody on it. Get everybody.
So now when a victim dies or something happens, they'll be like, "Why did?" And there was it's a language barrier, which happens all the time in law enforcement. Information does not get out as quick as it needs to because I'm talking to someone who doesn't speak a lick of English and I don't speak Creole. But now they're going to say, "Well, if you had the Axon body application, you would have been able to solve."
When do they drop the civilian version of the body cam? That's next. Like, hey, buy your own body cam to record the police. Like the radar detector company makes the radar.
Yeah.
Radar makes the radar detector.
Oh, man.
Pretty soon I can see Axon going, hey, keep yourself safe from under a different name, under a different blanket with a
white label.
Yep. There you go. Here. Oh, look at us. We're here to protect you, and it's going to be all owned by the same people.
Yeah, because Axon's mission statement is they don't want cops to have guns.
There's some big places still don't have it. You know, Grady Judd, Polk County, they don't have body cams.
Really?
Neither does Brevard.
He stood hard on them.
Brevard doesn't?
Wayne Ivey and Grady Judd have stood hard on not having body cams.
Holy crap, they don't have body cams.
The way Grady talks with kill him dead and all that.
It's not like some kind of
No, it's not
statute.
federally.
Yeah.
It's societally pressured to have it. Like everybody, so now.
But there's nothing stating that has to be enforced or used.
I'm old enough to remember drug cases where guys got life in prison where all we had was recordings on like a cassette tape. And if that recording didn't work, we were still able to convict them of selling drugs, go to trial, and win.
Based off your testimony as a
your
law
word.
That
enforcement.
don't matter.
We don't have anything.
No.
That doesn't matter anymore.
Me having a badge and swearing an oath
means
nothing.
It actually works against you.
Yeah,
now.
if you're not on body cam saying it or doing it, they throw it out immediately. It's everything's thrown out if it's not on body cam.
Here's a great story. On the way here, I got a DM from a guy who said they're cleansing the docket. He had a possession with intent to distribute narcotics and another case against the same guy who was on probation for selling drugs. Because it was an easy case, they dumped the case. Guy goes, hey, why did you guys drop this case? He goes, that's what he called it. We called it docket cleansing, and we just decided to drop the case.
Yeah.
The judge actually told the state attorney,
we have too many cases.
Get rid of low-hanging fruit.
Low-hanging fruit. So we went, this guy's trafficking in narcotics. He's possession with intent, but we're just going to dump that kid. No reason. Just we're dumping that kid.
But who's the measure of what is low-hanging fruit or not? So that's all subjective.
The corrupt district
So that
attorney.
spins me into all these cases we're talking about where I still feel like the state attorney, or in this case, the attorney general, like in the Jersey case with Sal, they are the most powerful people on earth. Because that attorney general comes into Jersey and goes, fuck it, I'm a Soros guy. I'm a fucking appointed by the governor. I'm a Cory Booker, Trump, get rid of Trump guy.
Oh, yeah. So
I'm going to start indicting cops.
Let's preface the Sal incident. Sal was on Antihero. Or not him. His parents. His parents represent him because he can't.
He can't talk.
But he's being tried for murder. Clear cut. Guy had a gun. They called. They reacted to him. And now a Soros-planted state attorney, which is when
Attorney
people
General,
hear Soros, they're like, "Oh, Soros!" But it's literally documented that their money for their campaign came from George Soros.
Matthew Platkin, I think, is the attorney general. He got appointed by the governor. He came in and he's indicted over 20 cops. Sal was cleared of homicide by the local prosecutor, not indicted. Went back to work, got promoted.
2 years later,
Got officer of the year, 20 months, just short of 2 years. Got a call from his union attorney and said, you have 2 hours to turn yourself in to the Camden County Jail. You've been indicted. Like he's just sitting around one day and gets a call.
The state prosecutor went and sat down and went through all of his police shootings and I want to indict him, and him. And so now these guys, and you brought up a great point, because it's a murder charge, they can't be suspended with pay.
Correct.
They're suspended without
His agency
pay.
supports him.
Yeah.
They support him. They brought him back to work. They promoted him, and they wanted to pay him, but because it's that level of charge, he can't be paid. So fortunately for him, he's able to still sustain a life and not go broke. But can you imagine just 20 months? You're just sitting there.
We just had a raging conversation, me and my wife, about me still being a cop. And when I say raging conversation, sometimes we yell, but we're not fighting. Right?
There was no yelling.
It's just loud talking.
Yeah, it was.
My wife doesn't yell either. It's just loud talking.
When I'm
Only I yell. Hers is loud talking.
When I'm quiet is when
you got to bring it to your mouth.
when I'm yes, 100%. I was quiet and I just said, okay, that's when.
That's a good conversation.
Fear for your life. No, that's like the scary part. When I'm
everything's
yelling,
working out. No, kind of like Mike's. Something's happening. Someone sat on.
Why am I not in trouble? This is fucked.
Yes.
Yeah, this is fucked
yes.
up.
The quietness is
the whole
terrifying.
thing. Like, all right, so we have a traditional family where we have kids, and I have a wife that her primary job is taking care of the family and taking care of the house. Right. And I go to work, and that's not. Today it's commended. That was the business model for a family. 30 years ago. Yeah. So if I were to be in Sal's position, my family would lose everything. She can't go get a job enough to sustain us. Maybe I could get a job and you could get a job, but you're not going to be able
to.
Huh?
Got some skills.
In that quick a time, making $100K a year to support 4 kids and me.
All right.
I mean, I maybe could make 30K.
Give me a minute to think about
real
it.
quick. I'm talking like real quick. Now, eventually,
you're working one day and you're gone the next.
Yeah, like there's no
immediately.
nothing. So, thank you. But yeah. So like, if that was the case, my whole family would be fucked. All because one guy wants to be a fucking piece of shit. A piece of shit's not even the right word. It's just like
corruption.
almost
It's
like a
corruption at its
corrupted,
finest.
evil.
Okay, I have a question. What is the reasoning for that? Like, what does that do?
Indict cops.
I know, but I get that. But what does
It's a Democrat state with a Democratic governor with now a Democrat.
To destabilize our country.
Okay,
It's part of the
That's what I'm saying.
movement.
What's
If
the
you
benefit
talk
in their
like talking to the Jersey
skewed
City
fucking
guys
head?
at the live,
Yeah.
they have made their use of force so bad that they can't even touch anybody anymore. So now
Well, you have to do
it's a
a bunch of
shitty.
paperwork.
It's a bad. And the caller, the guy dead was like the caller, but there was allegations from his ex-wife or whatever she was, girlfriend, that he wanted a suicide by cop. So it wasn't the actual burglar, but it was called in as a burglary, and then the case develops. He presents a gun. He's told to drop it. He gets shot. So it's not. It's a shitty situation already. And like I said, talking to his parents, he's already going to be traumatized the rest of his life because he shot. First of all, he shot somebody.
He'll never shoot somebody again.
Then he shot what ended up being the homeowner. Now the situation dictated him to be able to shoot that person, but as a human being, you leave that call and go, holy fuck, I just shot somebody. First time I ever killed anybody. It wasn't the typical, like, I dreamed up the bank robber, the guy with the gun to a baby's head. Yeah, you're my hero. I'm going to go on the news tomorrow. I killed the fucking homeowner or the caller. Now, it was justified, but you're already done. You're traumatized the rest of your life. You're always going to have that issue. Then you go back to work, start to piece your life back together, and 20 months later, you get a phone call that says you have 2 hours to turn yourself in.
Insane to me.
And they made him turn himself into Camden County Jail, which is Camden is one of the worst cities in fucking America for crime, and that's where he put all this. That's where he primarily took all his bad guys. So he's not only that, I'm going to turn myself into a jail where I took a bunch of fucking bad guys my whole career, and they all knew who I am.
And Sal's not.
And they don't
a questionable
protect you?
cop.
No.
I've known Sal's situation for probably a year now, and then he came to the Philadelphia live show, and his mom was
No, I know.
Yeah. And
She
and
introduced
he's
herself.
just the nicest fucking dude in the
whole
world.
family.
Yeah. And it's just if it happened to a cop, most cops, I'd be like, well, they're gonna find something on this guy to fucking hang him out. But
No, his agency stood by him. It's just,
Well, and a lot of people will say, well, we need accountability. And accountability is important. I'm like,
transparency.
queen accountability,
Yeah.
though. I'm about it. I'm all about it. What happens is they're using accountability as a guise. It's not about accountability. It's about political agendas, whatever the ulterior motive is, but they're guising it and using the guise of accountability. And so then they taint the actual what accountability is supposed to stand for because you're using it for personal driven agendas. And that's not accountability.
So, and to answer your question, and I mean, because they're trying to say accountability, but it's they're finding things. You don't have to find it. If it's there, it's there.
Right.
And
Like
you're
you're being held
absolutely trying to
accountable
find
There's an
for something
ulterior
you
motive.
did.
Yeah.
There's an ulterior
and it was
motive.
investigated and cleared, and I could see if there was like a controversy, but there was no controversy.
And the ulterior motive, it used to be this stuff. And then below that was the clear mission to destabilize our country and to destroy America. And underneath that, when I'm breaking down levels of conspiracy, underneath that is how do you say it? Like essentially Satan like the biblical times where hell's taken over earth, right? So we're now seeing this one surfacing. You're tracing stories back to George Soros trying to destabilize our country. I'm 200 years away from when that happens, like the whole, like the evil agenda. Like, dude, They go to fucking islands. These government officials, they put on animal heads and they do satanic rituals. And this is, we're not, Alex Jones said this 10, 15 years ago, and everybody's like, this guy's a fucking Looney Tune.
Yeah, because people don't want to believe that.
And it's,
and
the Bohemian Groves or what, like there's so much, and people look at you crazy and stupid, but there's like, people would roll over if they knew what the government was doing. Anybody who thinks the government is actually here to protect you and look out for you and you're just not another number is absolutely a sheep and part of the problem.
Only one group of people have rioted since we've been around. Like, we've seen the riots and all that. They indicted Trump for no fucking reason. Right in front of you. They said Hunter Biden stuff was a lie. They indicted the president, former president, right in front of you for nothing.
We did nothing.
Now you have another state starting to indict innocent cops. They're pushing the line right in fucking front of you to see how far it is until it breaks. It's going to break. At some point,
I don't think
your American people, you're I think it is. You're 2A American people
they've
at some point.
No, they've gotten too good at what they're doing. So what they do is they push the line right up into the point of breaking, and then they back off.
It's going to break at
and
some
then
point.
but like you said, we all just go, oh yeah, this is what we're doing. This is fine.
You know when it
we
broke?
get desensitized to the fuckery.
If President Trump got killed that day, this country would have burned.
Oh.
They would. I think it would have been a fucking takeover.
You said the same thing about COVID when you were like, it's a social experiment.
It was the biggest social experiment ever.
It was.
And they realized what they couldn't do.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. All these things are still happening. Our whole episode,
which is dropping. It'll be a couple days before this airs. Your episode drops Friday. This one's airing on Wednesday.
We talk about that, and they were like, okay, we got them to comply, and I think they were feeling good, they were feeling strong, and then, like you said, all the let's call them the 2A people, like, we're like, wait, hold on, something's not right. So now they're going to be like, hey, we got to do something different. We got a different approach. Now they're going to do it in a more discreet way, or they're going to come up with a different plan because they saw that now all these people that like
these business owners are not going to fold over anymore.
And like,
it got right to the edge.
Right to the edge.
It was getting to the point where the cops were going to have to make a decision. Do I support the Constitution, or do I support these fucking politicians telling me what to do?
They routinely push it to the edge, and then when they watch all the reactions, they go, "Oh, this is what," and then they back off.
This is where the line was drawn.
January 6th would be nothing, and which was nothing really. But if Trump would have got assassinated, I think we would have saw some.
Have you ever seen the movie Civil War?
No.
The new one. It's not bad. It's politically leaning. It's not as abrasively politically leaning, but it's more like you follow this photographer, and it's a civil war in today's times because the president took a third term. I think they were trying to get at that, like that would be Trump, and so Texas and Florida broke off and formed the Western Forces, and it was like all the states had their own National Guard equipment, so it was like it was a real war. It's a pretty good concept, but I kind of forgot where I was going with that. But the COVID thing, and then on top of it, right before we started filming, we were talking about this, which is funny as hell. Is that you mentioned the JFK files, and now no one cares now.
No,
because and I said the same thing. They let us know that aliens. They pretty much said aliens are real, and we're like, well, yeah, 20 years ago we wanted this. We wanted this in 1999 for the government to say.
Something else was going on a couple years ago when they snuck the aliens in. There was something going on, and they're like, oh, by the way, there's aliens. And I think it was around the Epstein stuff. So the Epstein stuff was going on. They're like, hey, by the way, we got aliens back here. And everybody's like, what? And then
I barely remember the alien thing. I'm like, when did we say aliens?
It was around the Epstein stuff was breaking, and all of a sudden we had it. They're like, oh, hey, there's aliens over here. Like, look at this. And
I don't even remember.
And now the JFK stuff. But you're right. It's how long will people? How long will you forget that
you put an entire generation of people in the middle of it, and once it becomes history, it doesn't matter anymore.
No,
it can. If it was something within the last 10 years, it would be still us invested in that story. But when the JFK was assassinated, that was our grandparents. So
it's not personally affecting anybody. Nobody's personally invested.
We're invested in the conspiracy side. We're not invested in our president getting shot by our government.
Right.
Clearly by the CIA.
Yeah, because you were at the end of the World War II generation. Guys were like starting to get old, and it was just before Vietnam. That would have been a scary time for them if they would have found out the government did that. There were still all those guys that were coming back from the World War II and all this. They would have been like, yo, what the fuck happened? So great experiment. Push it off. Now it comes to the government. And
every single thing they do.
I don't remember. I'm too old. I'm too young.
Yeah.
So too old or too young.
Didn't
affect me.
Massive data charts tracking, like the COVID is all it's all an experiment, but there's that one show about social media and the stuff that they put in your feed. It's listening to you, everything.
Yeah.
But
it can track your eyeballs.
We talk about all this. Social media. It's part of the mind control. They just switch. That's what I'm saying with switching. They switched MK Ultra. So instead of giving actual drugs to people, now they're just using things like social media.
It's really gay when I need you.
I know. It's Tyler. That was the second
not
time.
gay for her. But
Second time I've seen him go like this with his fucking mouth. But now they're going to use it in a different way. So social media. They're doing the same thing, essentially, just in a different way.
because it's all an addiction.
Right.
That's all it is just capitalizing on
They're
addiction.
saying these phones can read
eye movement.
And obviously there's like one
You're not by the
You
mic.
talking to the mic?
there's
Hey.
there's one video that's super fucked up, whether it be sexually or someone being murdered or a fight, a fist fight. It's like super negative, and it's surrounded by like puppies and babies and kids, and you're like, and I'm in my head, I'm like, there's no way that it can't know what I'm looking at because there's 9 videos on this page. Apparently, it can see what your eyes literally look at using metrics, and it can see that you're looking at that negative video, and that's why when you refresh, now there's 3 negative videos on there, and it's because, and I'm like, how the fuck they know? But because it's literally watching your eyes on the screen. It can tell where your pupils look at on that rectangle because it already knows the rectangle's this big.
Yeah.
So based on where your eyes are, it can tell you're looking at it.
Dude, that
fucking wild.
that app user agreement could tell you you're giving up your fucking firstborn kid, and you would never read it.
They're not
You
reading
fucking
it.
hit the
They're
button.
immediately clicking it.
Yeah. Like you hit it, boom, and it's like, oh, by
I
the
didn't
way,
drop my phone.
by the way, we own your fucking property now. Like it was in the
You
agreement.
ever see
for
the
you.
South Park where like
Yeah.
you signed the terms of agreement?
Yeah.
I don't want to give too much away about this next episode because I'm like telling you.
You got
That was
to.
in our episode. But Tessa, my co-host, she has a friend that comes over and he speaks Spanish. But
she's got a friend that comes over.
well, like to her house, right? So
Yeah,
I mean, you can say
don't make it fucking weird. You don't need to make it
you
fucking
made
weird.
it weird by saying she has a friend that comes over to her house. That's a male.
I didn't say it was a male.
You said he.
Oh, okay. So, I'm not trying to give away her fucking personal.
Well, you could just say
information.
you could say she's got a friend.
You can't help
The
She's got a
coming
friend
over
that
thing.
comes over.
It's called a booty call.
Yeah, this is relevant.
Mommy has a friend that comes over.
There's like this valve vibrating in the room, and she yells for help.
It's like a
How,
Forrest Gump.
how often does he come over?
Yeah.
Twice a
Yeah.
week.
Right.
How long
Yeah.
does he stay? Yeah. And what car does he drive?
She's
Now
always
everybody
yelling.
knows her business.
She's
It's not an investigation.
She's very religious when he comes over. She's yelling
This
for
is
God.
fucking relevant that
Okay,
he
go
comes
ahead.
to her house. That's
Okay.
relevant.
Go ahead.
So I
Okay.
have to say that.
All right.
So, anyways, she says for 3 days after he leaves, and he doesn't even speak like a ton of Spanish, but like he'll say
That's
a
a
couple
transient
words.
occupant, but yeah.
He'll say a couple words or whatever, and she's like, all my ads on my TV are in Spanish. So she's like, I tested this theory. She's like, they're not in Spanish. Before he comes, they're not in Spanish. And so I'm like, it's probably not even picking up what he's saying. It's that his phone may have because like he's
and all your
Cuban
accounts
and
are
all his-
linked.
Yeah.
My TV does Spanish a lot. Who's coming in?
I don't know. Who is coming over?
My
Mike?
baseball app starts doing fucking commercials.
You're
in
home.
Spanish.
You're home way more than I'm
I
home.
wanna be- I wanna be-
I'm at
man.
work 23 and a half
I
hours
was
a
going to
day.
record a podcast in
do
your
tell
car on the
me.
way home.
No.
Our TV has never.
Let's
Give me
had
the mic,
ads
give me the
in
mic, give me the
I'm
mic.
at work.
I saw a McDonald's commercial in Spanish the other day in my fucking house, dude.
You are the only
Los
one
Nuggets. It
that's
said
home.
Los Nuggets or some shit,
You're
man.
the only one that's home.
All right. Yeah.
And I have a Spanish kid. No,
That's the only. You're the only one at home. You're fucking throwing yourself
That's
under
weird.
the bus.
Right.
Like,
I got a ring camera, buddy.
Yeah. He's going to be sitting there and all of a sudden like,
No, it does. It's weird. Every now and then the fucking thing does like a fucking Spanish ad.
why is the TV on BET?
Yeah.
but she said it does. So like that's interesting because it listens.
I ordered.
watches.
So today on the way here, I ordered new air fresh
Air filter.
air filters for they have like now scented ones for. I swear to God, I ordered them on Amazon, and now every fucking third ad.
Yeah.
on Instagram
That's
or
old
Facebook,
news, though. Isn't that crazy how that is not surprising anymore?
Immediately.
Right.
5 years ago, we were like, dude, that's insane. They're fucking listening to
Now
us.
they don't even
Now
bother
you're like,
hiding
you're
it.
expecting it.
Has
Yeah.
anyone ever? I shit you not. That happened with us. We didn't even talk about something. I was like thinking about something. I was like, now they're fucking like real in there. They're
Yeah.
real deep in there thinking about something,
Well,
and
the
they see an
geofencing
ad for
stuff
it.
got popular in law enforcement. Then
Yeah.
Google pulled the plug on it. They don't let cops have it anymore.
But they let civilians have it.
Yes.
Private
What?
businesses.
So the geofencing was that they knew where you were in the grocery store and where you spent the most time in that aisle, so they would start pumping ads for like peanut butter because you're on the peanut butter aisle or
So,
bread.
and that's my point. If they can
Yeah.
do that, It's child's play to use current events or things that are way more within their control to affect mind control, to affect how we perceive what's right, what's wrong, what's acceptable. Like, it's so easy to do. And the average human, what do we know about the average human, intelligence-wise? Right? Not great. Those people the majority of people are it's insanely easy to control them. It's not even a difficult task.
And like
it's
every
easy.
movie, every show you watch on Netflix, what they eventually do? Introduce a gay character or an LGBTQ character.
Or kid shows.
Yeah.
We've got fucking Disney shows with our kids. And now I felt terrible. Our 6-year-old was watching a show that our 12-year-old watches. And I told her, it's too far gone now. Eli's been watching this show for fucking 6 years. But I just saw in passing, because they rewatched the same show all seasons, in passing, there's a gay kid in there. And she was like, well, now I have to determine whether or not Logan's going to watch that show because he's 6. And not to get...
It wasn't even gay. Hold on. Let's... It wasn't the gay. He was full blown, like, not drag, like makeup, nails, platforms. So that is real confusing. Like,
the cast is 14-year-old kids. The characters in the show shouldn't be sexually, like, oriented at all.
Yeah,
it should be about kids shows.
But they did it.
But
they did it in every show. Everybody's got, like, everything's got they brought it all in, and now it's normal. It's almost if you don't see one, you're like, man, there's no gay guy in this movie.
And
like,
now,
like, what the fuck's going on?
But here's what's the other compounding part of that is if you don't want your kids to watch
we're
it,
bigots.
You're
we're
the
horrible.
problem.
We're homophobes.
You're the problem.
And you're the only parent that's not doing it because it's just like that experiment where one person sat down while the other people were standing up.
Right.
We're the only... Eli, be honest with me. How many other kids, give or take, don't have cell phones? Because we took his cell phone away. He goes, I'm the only one without a cell phone. And it does hurt my heart every day that he's the one at school that doesn't have a cell phone. And I was like, be honest. Be honest with it. He's got to tell his friends I was doing things on it that I wasn't supposed to. But I gave a 12-year-old the key to the world.
Right. No, it's true.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter about the protective apps. It doesn't matter about anything.
Even Instagram.
Parental. Fuck it. It's a joke. I can't even. I'm like, those are like, that just eliminates like the straight beheading.
Yeah.
So that's about
But even kids can, I'm sure, find out how to circumvent those.
Oh,
absolutely. Literally Google how do I circumvent.
Just like me and Mike's got a friend that could go into a system and help us get in because we don't know how to do it. You always have a friend that knows how to do something.
Like I know how to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So we feel, but we're the only parents. Every other parent has given in to the fact that you're going to give our preteens cell phones. Right. Like access to the whole
world.
Their brains are still developing.
Right.
And they can't take in. That's why we filter.
Even Instagram, and I don't know. I don't understand algorithms, and I don't feel like talking about it half the time because I'm being judged. But even Instagram, like the breastfeeding that's on Instagram, just boobs everywhere.
And they know what they're doing everywhere. They know what they're doing.
So I'm like, my 19-year-old grown man, I'm like, I don't.
Yeah,
this is
I got banned.
weird.
I lose my fucking account from posting a fucking Saturday Night Live skit. And there's girls that will put the phone on the ground and like jump on top of it with their fucking vaginas hanging out.
Did you see our post got removed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The men
I'm
are useless.
banned. I got the fucking red check mark.
You did?
Because
he put arguing with him.
Because he put men are useless.
You were just collab with?
That somebody else said.
With you guys are all good.
We didn't say
my
it.
page is unable to be seen. And I'm like,
are you serious?
I emailed him. I got the blue check mark. I'm
I
like,
feel bad. Now Mike's not going to collab with us anymore.
So I'm like,
that's not why, Mike. That's because all your
that's
other
my
shit.
podcast. No, that's my podcast.
All the
page.
other accounts associated with that post are fine.
Nope.
Hold on,
mine's
now I have to
fucked.
check.
Nope, mine's fucked.
Instagram is on your dick.
Yeah.
Did you?
They do not
But that's
like
why,
you.
I
because they're
peeled it, and it
exactly.
didn't
He's
remove
got
it.
like
on
a,
his dick.
So wait, you have a green check mark though, and what can be shared, right?
No, look.
You have a red.
I got a red.
Because there's orange just saying you need to remove it at your earliest convenience, and then we'll put you back on.
This shit's blinking red.
mine. They removed it. They didn't give me an option to remove it.
Yeah, that's not right. You gotta go remove content.
I removed it. It's gone. I peeled it. There's nothing.
No, go and look at the content.
I peeled it.
Your account cannot be shown to
Appellate
non-followers.
courts.
I know. Let me see. That's how you break phones, Mike.
Mine says remove content.
Mike's got the fucking old man fucking font.
I know.
He
I
just
just
did
bragged
that.
about it on the way here. I'm like, look at this fucking bold font, man. I can see. You can't do nothing.
What
with
can't
this
be
font.
that view affected content?
Yep, can't do nothing with it. You guys got me fucked up.
But mine says the same thing, but it says we removed it. So how the fuck can I remove it?
That's what I'm saying.
It's gone. I
Nothing
can't
you
click
can do.
it. I can't go to
Nope.
it.
But counterculture
It
survived.
says review complete May 6th. Post may attack a person or group of people based on who they are. So us,
No, you're right.
which would be men, and that was us defending the fact that men are not
But
useless.
you can be naked. You can have your vagina out. You can breastfeed. You can watch a fucking ISIS dude blow somebody's fucking head off with a missile. You can watch all those like Ukraine videos of drones blowing people up. But you say men are useless, and off
And
you
the
go.
sad part is we rely so much on social media for our businesses that we have to
Yes,
comply.
right.
And then when they, I mean, I don't know, do you use the same email as you did for Copville?
Yeah.
So they're like, this guy's already a fucking problem.
Yeah.
Right.
Your new page is going to be,
You
know,
should probably change the email.
it doesn't matter. They're not going to know it came from you.
Yeah, because all our accounts are associated
Yeah.
by fucking.
There's
metadata.
no way. In fact, I was just sitting here thinking, there's no way you could go, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try and experiment. I'm going to go literally, other than legally change my name, I'm going to literally start over a digital footprint. They'll find it.
Well, I
it's
said that
gonna
to her.
link
I
in
said
there.
I might just start carrying. I bought 3 iPhones for my
Burner
podcast. I'm like,
phone.
I might just carry my burner phone, use the fucking hotspot off this one, and start an entire fresh phone. But they'll show you.
It's
the IP
gonna
address
always
and
be
all
It'll
that.
associated.
connect to the Wi-Fi in the house.
Yeah.
And they're trying,
They'll be like, do you still want to do all this? And you're like, they're not connected. I purposely, no, I don't even want you to ask me. You're not supposed to know.
They
That's
know.
like all these people saying they're not going to get or how dare they try to get us to get real IDs? They already got all your shit. Like that's not going to be the way they're doing
No.
it.
No,
Like
yeah.
that's like the least of the
They
concern.
extended that too.
Didn't we do like
Yours was long because you talked a lot.
a lot?
Yeah.
Well,
nonstop.
so I have to go. So I do, obviously, I do the production for the Unfiltered and Unfazed podcast. And when they're fucking letting it rip and it's like an hour and a half in, I'm like, dude, every time the rule for editing is it's at least double what the video is. So if you film for an hour and a half, it takes 3 hours to edit. That's just
Jesus
a rule of thumb.
Christ.
So when you go into a 2-hour thing, now it's a 4-hour editing
I
ordeal.
did that
Holy
once,
shit.
and now I record the easy
Yeah.
way. Fuck
Well,
that.
yeah, because we splice with these. So we shoot, if anybody's watching, we have Antihero has upgraded and moved to a studio where we splice in real time. So we have but you have to have a dedicated producer there. Not even a producer, really just somebody to splice when
human,
you talk.
yeah.
Yeah. Which is hard for a lot of podcasters because they're trying to do their own schedule and coordinate with guests. The fact that you need, but we used to do it like this, where you take all the raw video file, all 3 cameras, and you take the audio, you go splice the cameras. Yeah, Mike was like, "I'm never doing
I
this
did
again."
the episode with you.
He's
I
like,
did
"I'd never do
4
this again."
times. I respliced it, so that's an hour and 20 minutes doubled times.
But he didn't
4.
have to. I don't know why you did that.
No, it
Doesn't know
looked
what
like
he's doing.
shit.
He
No,
doesn't
it
know what
looked like
he's doing.
shit. I had to. We were like fucking meth.
Oh yeah, because I said.
God.
Yeah, the way the
His hoodie wasn't sitting.
No,
His
it was
hoodie
it was
wasn't
it was our
on
skin.
He's like, I look like I have vitamin D deficiency.
I did. It was fucked up.
We are Counterculture 8. How's everybody doing tonight?